Welcome back. I had an absolutely incredible September, one of the best months I've ever had with my mixed selling option strategies. So, what I want to do for you now is a full monthly recap where I'm going to show you everything I did for the month of September. You don't want to miss this video. The main reason that my September was different from other months is because I've added a little extra piece of mathematics into my strategy, a little something that I haven't done in a while. It has really based on the book that I wrote. I wrote a guide that you can purchase at maxoptionstrading.com, and I started implementing some of the old mathematics into my new strategy, and it has been a home run. And I'm going to break down for you through my entire Discord. You're going to see what my paid Discord looked like for the whole month of September and my Excel spreadsheets I've been working on for the whole month of September. I'm going to show you all of this now. So let's go through it together. September 1st, extremely wild and volatile first candle. Going to be a bit more patient today. It looks like September 1st was a Friday. I always say on Fridays are for profit taking and not for over trading, which is just a great fucking slogan. If you had a big green week, don't go blowing it on Friday. The first thing I do every single morning is post my first chart with the 15-minute orb. The 15-minute orb is my red lines. That is the opening range breakout. That is a 15-minute chart where I'm looking for the price action to break either above or below those red lines. So from there, there's really no plan yet because we're waiting for the price action. The cool thing about my strategies is it's like not market opens at 9:30 a.m., 9:31, I'm fucking in a trade. I don't do that. My strategy requires at least a minimum of 30 minutes of price action before you're able to make entry with all the confirmations needed. And I'm going to show you why that's so important. So now the next post here, 10:33, almost time for bird season. What I mean when I say that, I'm referring to an iron condor. Per my zero DTE strategy, if we see 6 to 7 candles close within the opening range breakout, I like to open an iron condor because that is a signal to me that we're most likely going to have a very choppy, consolidated type of day. So as you can see at 10:44, I filled the iron condor. That's how I post it. I post the actual trade every single time, so there's no mistakes for all the newer traders. A lot of newer traders don't really understand how to enter credit spreads at first and shit. So if I just post the picture, it's very simple. Plus, I want everyone to see firsthand, Big Daddy Max is in this fucking trade. I'm leading by example. I'm leading the charge. I'm not one of these guys that's just going to alert a fucking signal and not show you that I'm in the trade and I'm taking the losses and I'm right there grounded and pounded with you. It's bullshit. Right there overnight, our 1DTE Condor is up 80% gains. I always swing a 1 day to expiration iron condor as well, which I will explain to you further in this video. It looks like this was a pretty damn good week. 1 for 1, $1,437 on the week, closing out the end of August into the first week of September. Looks like I kind of said, fuck it, it's Friday afternoon and let's just close everything, take our $1,400 weekly profit and move on. 1 for 1, 140% on your membership in that 1 week. So that's pretty good. Labu, I also posted my wheel estate. The Labu wheel estate, and if you've seen my YouTube videos on covered calls, cash secured puts, and wheel estate, you know this is my bread and butter. I officially on September 1st also paid off all of those shares. I have made more money selling covered calls on Labu than the entire shares I own are worth. And now at this point, since Labu has dropped, I've doubled the share amount and I'm doing the same process over. Don't forget the one thing that all successful traders have in common. On September 1st, I took a paycheck for $1,000. I made $1,400 that week with my credit spread strategy, so I took $1,000 home with me because I'm the CEO of Max Options Trading and I'm the CEO of Max Trades Options Channel. So I need to be the first one to get paid. That is so important. I cannot stress it to you enough. I'll probably wind up making another video here soon on 1,000 reasons why paying yourself from trading is so important. This is the 1 DTE Iron Condor on September 1st at the end of the day, usually between 350 and 359. The last 9 minutes of the day, I post my 1 DTE Condor. The 1 DTE Condor is an amazing strategy, and I haven't given it out yet because it's still in back testing. But what I want to do is I want to keep working at it and figure out a risk management matrix that makes it profitable over time. But in reality, the total benefit of it is it's a roadmap to my 0 DTE strategy success. So if I said over 2 months, you might lose $200 with this strategy, but that negative 200 is going to make you $20,000 with another one, you would drop the $200 on the table in front of me right fucking then and there. You might drop your pants with it because it's so damn enticing. So let's keep moving. Markets are closed. Here's a new day, 9/5. My battlefield is set up for the day. This is the first post of the day. Remember, red lines are my opening range breakout. Yellow and white is my levels of stop losses and or entry criteria, which I also move throughout the day based on price action. So bam, we enter a call side credit spread that most likely tells me that we broke to the downside here. I always post the chart with all 4 confirmations based on my strategy. I don't want anyone to think, hey, this guy's just fucking off or he's BSing. No, I stick to my strategy like gum sticks to a fucking underneath a desk, baby. All right. I stick to it methodically and like very militarized because that's what I am. So as you can see here, here's the confirmations and the proof based on my 0 DTE strategy. And then we entered the call sides. And then later on in the day, we entered a put side because we broke back into the opening range. And that's the first level of risk management per my 0 DTE strategy. Here's the chart to prove it. So for me, it's very systematic and methodical. Everything I do, I post the entry, I post the reasons why, and then I post the updates. And I always post the morning chart. That's it. Setting a put side, you set the alert. So if you take a look at this photo, this is the greatest part of my strategy. I got my stop loss criteria lines, I got my opening range lines, but what I have most is my alerts. I'm usually away from the computer between 10:45, 11 a.m. until about 3 p.m. I don't want to sit at my screen all day. But if those alerts go off, now I have a couple minutes to sit there and look at the action and see what the best course from there on is with my open trades. But that is a good example of why setting alerts, I say set it, set the trade, set the alert, and forget it. Go do something with your life. Here's Big Daddy Max in a GIF that someone made that's fucking hilarious, but I love it. You know the vibes. That's my favorite line of all time. If Big Daddy Max, if I'm typing, you know the vibes, that means we've let all of our trades hit for the full 100% bag and you can let it expire. Just like I posted there was a $233 gain on my $5,500. So on that trade in particular, we were risking about $600 to make $233 based on my 3-to-1, 75% risk to reward multiple. Currently 4 for 4 in September, up 300 for the month. And then here's the 1 DTE Iron Condor that follows. The next day, here's my battlefield. I'm going to keep doing this until it's broken in your head. Battlefield means that the red lines that I have here are my opening range breakout. The yellow lines and white lines are entry criteria lines and stop loss lines. They're fluid. They move against previous lows and mathematical edges and major support and resistance levels. And I will go over that a little bit more here when we see a mathematical entry. So based on this, I'm entering a call side because boom, here's all 4 confirmations on a put side. So we entered calls that day. Looks like we entered put sides based on a mathematical entry here. An SPX close minus 1.2% on the day is less than 4% of all market moves. So on a very steep volatile drop, a 20, 30 point candle early on, most of the time you can play into the volatility. It's extremely high risk, but based on mathematics, this is saying I have a 96% chance of historical success, and I have a 68% chance of 1 standard deviation based on the implied move of the day success. And as an option seller, I automatically have a higher edge on the market. So you're able to enter a large math-based entry here. So now I'm in an Iron Condor. So the put side only for my Iron Condor was a loss, the 1 DTE from the day prior. That's on 9/6. So when I come here to my Iron Condor log, you'll see right here on 9/5, I lost $248 and I logged it. And that was in my green zone, which then brought me into a red zone, a yellow zone the next day. And I will explain that here shortly. But you could see that I lost the 1 DTE Condor there as I logged. Keep going, getting ready to close the added put side for loss, waiting for confirmation. Now currently down on the day. Closing for some gains for risk management. This is a big losing day overall, so we will scale tomorrow appropriately. Absolutely crushed this losing day. Be on standby for any potential updates, and boom. 3 for 4 today for $47 in profit. For me to lose on a credit spread and an Iron Condor and to come up with profit is unbelievable risk management. A lot of people cannot do something like that. And it's based on the mathematic algorithm that I've created from my risk management that I do all up here. There's no fucking algo or indicator and none of that. It's just in my head, math. It's simple math. But to get profit on a losing day, because everyone knows the collateral of an Iron Condor is $500. That's getting cut. Taking a put side with a 10-point spread, that's $1,000 maximum loss per contract. That's getting cut. So I made green on this. 7 for 8 in September on a red day, and I'm up 350 on the month. The next day, something interesting happened on 9/7. I entered because there was a gap down in the market that was like 0.7%. So here comes another statistical entry. As soon as the market opens, I entered into the volume, into the volatility, saying that I don't think it's going to close down 1.5%. This trade has an 85% chance of success and a stop loss zone. I also post that with every single one of my entries, the chance of success and the stop loss zone, because that is giving you that mathematical statistic that you're like, hey, this one sounds pretty nice. And it's also giving you the risk management portion. I'm giving you everything you need to succeed in this strategy following Big Daddy Max and what I've created in this mixed option selling income program. Here's the battlefield. I went over it. You should know what it is by now. It's the first chart of the day. Orb, stop loss, criteria. Currently up 55% of the day. Put side strat was working like a charm. So on that mathematical day where I just entered the put sides, the market actually broke to the upside. So I got a massive premium on those put sides that I was able to capitalize on and get a large premium of the day. Per the 0 DTE strategy, I also entered a call side here with an active 84% chance and a stop loss because 6 or 7 candles close within the orb range here on this chart on 9/7. So then I was able to enter both sides at that point. Currently up 70%. You could take the profits and start a small wheel account if you wanted. If you haven't seen my covered call masterclass, look at that big, beautiful thumbnail that my friend Ali designed. It's staring at you in the face. I highly, highly recommend that you go check out my covered call masterclass, because once you learn my other strategies, you're going to want to reinvest that somewhere. And that is a good place to reinvest it, right into my free YouTube course. 100% bagger, 762 on the day, 10 out of 11 in the month of September, up 1,100 on the week. Nobody in the option selling game can do what Big Daddy Max does. I repeat, nobody, because nobody's ever been able to create a mathematical and statistical based strategy like I have. I've been digging in for 4 fucking years, baby. We're going to blow up soon, MOT. I like saying that, just to like get the crowd hype. I'm a hype man at heart more than anything. So here we go into September 8th. Here's my 1-day Condor entry. Here's my battlefield. The battlefield is my first chart of the day. Remember, Fridays are for profit taking and not for over trading. I've never heard anyone else say that. So if you've ever heard someone say Fridays are for profit taking and not over trading, I got Discord fucking receipts 4 years old. So if they can show me 5-year-old receipts, I'll give them credit. But until then, that's BDMs. I'm entering a put side credit spread here with an 84% chance of success with a break of this stop loss zone. All 4 confirmations here on this lovely Friday. And I post the chart. It's so important for all types of learners, especially visual learners in the stock market, to see what I see. So I post it. Here's what I'm entering. Here's my actual trade. Here's the sell, the buy, the contract amount, the premium amount, the expiration date. Here's the chart with all 4 confirmations. Here's everything you need. I'm posting it. Up 50% gains here. Be on standby for any potential alerts. Man, oh man, it's my favorite time of the day. You know the vibes. Let it all expire for 100% gains. And by this time, I was 12 out of 13 in September and up $1,300 at the end of week 1. Remember, we took a substantial loss that week too. But we finished green because of the consistency and the edge that we have as being an option seller day trader. Have a great weekend. Let's fast forward. Now, what do I show here? My logs. I show everyone my log that I showed you. Not only am I posting my active trades, my confirmations, my closes, how to do it, but I'm also logging it because I want to data scrape every piece of fucking data possible. And this is going to be coming out live in the next few weeks. I'm going to have so much data that you're not going to be able to wrap your fucking head around the statistics. So there's my 0 DTE, logging it all, baby, so I can data scrape as much as humanly possible, showing the profits, showing the notes, showing everything. When I show you these logs at the end throughout this video, it's intense, the amount of data. I hand put this all in because I'm not an Excel fucking guy. All right, I'm not a guy like that. Lastly, don't forget the most important piece of being a full-time trader. And what is that? What's the most important piece? Take that paycheck. I was able to take another grand out, $2,000 back in my bank account off of profits. I cracked the code. No one can do what I can do now. Here's another gif of max options trading. We're riding through space, baby, because football was back. Epic fucking post. I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan, and if you're a Lions fan, Bears fan, or Minnesota fan, fuck off. Good morning. Going to be patient as always on Monday morning. This looks like my mobile setup, so I was probably on the road. The battlefield is set. We know what the battlefield is now. I entered a call side credit spread. Why? Because I had all 4 confirmations. And even on the road, it looks like I'm doing a great job of being consistent, methodical, and systematic in everything I do in my channel. All spreads are up 50%. Slow and low premium, so I'm entering this put side based on what? Because of break back into orb. A break back into orb, and I enter a put side based on the 0 DTE strategy. I show the chart as always, up 70% on everything. I don't see the purpose of, look at this, perfect risk management. I'm going to close this condor here because I don't see the purpose of holding an extra hour to lose 400 potentially on a $30 gain. So I took the profit very early on. As you know it, let the rest expire for the 100% bag. My favorite line. My second favorite line. Well, no, my favorite thing is to take a paycheck. But my favorite line is, you know the vibes, because we're collecting 100%. I'm now 15 out of 16 in September, and I'm up 125 on the new week. 1 DTE Condor goes out every 350 to 359, as I stated before. And another max options trading GIF. I fucking love it. And another max options trading GIF. And another max options trading GIF. It's just literally the best. I mean, if you don't look at this and love it, I don't know what to tell you. It's literally the best. Good morning, MOT. The battlefield is set. Which orb, stop loss criteria, very fluid. We got it. Rare options buying alert. This is interesting. I saw something on UPS. I called it out live on Twitter Spaces. I did a buy. I entered a call side credit spread as well because I posted my chart with all confirmations. I posted my chart with my high risk buy, and I'll give an update on that here shortly. I'm also selling this put side here. Why? Because I follow my strategy to the T. The stock price action broke back into the opening range, and I opened a put side. Be on standby, and looks like you know the vibes. Let it all expire. So right there, I'm 18 out of 19 in September, and I post my 1 DTE. Let's continue. who made money today. Looks like about 21 of them joined me on the Condor spread strategy. My Discord has about 850 people in it. And if you look at the trading alerts signal channel here, Max Trades is at the bottom. But we also got Shark, Sean, Kenny, Connor, Booty, Briar, and a watch list. Those are all options buyers who are scalping, day trading, and just fucking getting it in 100, 200% gainers. They're crushing it. So if you're interested in that, we also offer that day trading dopamine shit. I'm just not that guy. I'm just the options seller that shows the consistency. Having mixed strategies and all of those tools on your tool belt, I think that's where the real winning recipe is. So if you're interested in buying options too, you can still come to Max Options Trading and learn. Overnight Condor up 50% before the market opened. Loved it. Battlefield has been set. Loved it. Now we're about halfway through the month, and there's something you should also notice about my charts. It's very clean, simple, and beautiful, and I'm following two things: my levels and my price action. There's another trader I know who's extremely fucking brilliant, famous, and rich and successful. His name is Rake Trades, and I believe he follows a system where it's just levels and candlesticks. I believe the master fucking Jay Dunn will talk about his levels and his candlesticks. I notice a pattern between highly successful traders and traders that think they're highly successful, and it usually comes down to indicators versus price action and things like that, and taking a paycheck, not taking a paycheck, showing your entries, showing your losses, showing your gains, showing your charts. I think the more transparent you are, that's where the real success comes in. Win or lose. I'm only making $1,000 a week here, so I'm not fucking, you're not going to get rich following me. Trust me. You're not, I mean, maybe over 5 years, but you're not going to get rich in 1 month following me. September was a huge month for me, and I think I made like 12 grand at the end of this. So disclaimer, this is slow, consistent growth. And if you're willing to put in the time to learn my strategies and get into this and get into my company and my investment community, I could promise you this, because this isn't a fluke this month. I can go back 5 months and show you the same shit: 87% success, 96% success, 89% success, 92. So I could do this over and over and over. I just really wanted to show off September, because September is where I introduced my old strategy again, and I was super proud of it. Let's enter this call side. Why are we entering a call side with a 94% chance of success and a stop loss near that 44.84 zone? Let's take a look, Max. Oh, because of the chart right here that I posted. Not bad. I did not get a fill. It happened to move so quickly. But later on, I did get a fill when it pumped back into orb. So that's great. And then I had to now enter a put side based on the 0DTE strategy. I guarantee you there's a photo coming right here. It broke back into orb. So not only was I able to get a fill on my call side, I was able to now enter the put side to mitigate the risk. Currently up 70% on everything. Be on standby for updates. And my favorite part of the day, you know the vibes. Let it all expire for the 100% bag. I was at that point, but right before mid-month, 21 out of 22 and up $600 on the week. When choosing an option for today's Condor, this is important too. Here's a real important piece of information you're not going to want to miss. When you look at the 0DT options chain, if you ever see a weekly, but then you see an AM right there for the date, do not choose AM. What that means is on September 14th, the weekly will expire at 4 p.m. when the market closes. That AM means that it does not expire on the 14th, which is a Thursday. It expires Friday fucking morning the next day. So you're swing trading an extra half a day. So you could lose substantially. You can make a little bit more, but you'll notice the big premium difference between the AM and the weekly. And that's because the AM does not expire on the 14th at 4 o'clock. It actually expires on the 15th at fucking noon. So be very careful to never choose those AM contracts. There's my Iron Condor for the next day. Over 2K in profits for the month. Here's my logs again where I logged everything. It looks like we only got to the yellow zone twice, which was right after our losses. We were able to keep the losses at a decent size and keep the gains at a decent size as well. At that point, I believe the Condor strategy was green, and I believe we had not taken any losses on the 0DTEs. And since I started it, we were up $3,360. That was about 18 days at the time. The collateral needed, the collateral. So for every Iron Condor, it's $500 per contract, and for the zero DTEs, it's 1,000. But we risk about 300% of that at most, really, three to 400%. So I made $3,360, and I was risking about $5,500 a day. But in reality, I was risking like 300 to 400% of the premium intraday. So it's not like I'll ever just let it all go to hell and I'll lose $5,000. If my premium was $50, I'm going to shut the trade out at 200 and take the $150 loss. You see what I'm saying? So it was probably at my risk management break-even point at that time. My rare UPS buying alert is up 20%. I started trimming contracts because I bought contracts deep in the money. You can see they were $2,500 a pop. So I was hella excited about that. I think I wind up closing the trade either that day or the next day. The battlefield is set. I don't have to fucking keep going like a broken record, do I? Okay. I'll do it one more time. The red lines mean opening range breakout. The yellow and white lines are stop losses and entry criteria lines, and those are fluid. Those can move based on mathematics or based on the current price action of the day. I'm entering this call side credit spread here with an active 91% chance of success and a stop loss zone near the 4150. All 4 confirmations needed here, plus a bearish engulfing candle. Boom. Look at that. I have all the confirmations, everything I needed. I actually think this is the day I took a loss, because something about that bearish engulfing is sticking out in my mind. Now we enter a put side because based on my zero DTE strategy, we followed the risk management, and now we have a break back into orb, so I'm in the put sides. This is the worst case potential loss scenario for my strategy. I think this is the loss day. Major reversals prior to the halfway mark. If we get a major reversal in the market before noon, so just like the chart here, we drop down, I get all confirmations for entry. Then we have a major reversal right there where it goes from 4,480 to 4,500, and it's at 11 a.m., hour and a half in the market, and we pump 20 points. That is not good for my zero DTE strategy. So when you want to talk about the high risk, that right there is what will fuck me up. That will fuck me up to the point where I'll lose about 300% on or 400% on a day like that. Keep in mind, let's see how it plays out. We're going to scale. No need to act on the call side unless we break to our stop loss zone. We'll keep the call sides today for a loss and open a statistical, mathematical based one if we have to, and hedge it. So let's see. So then we did indeed open a mathematical side on the call side, not the best entry, but a necessary one. And then what happened was the market pulled back a little bit. We moved the fill order down. We were able to get more in some put sides. And then I said at the end of the day, does anyone have any nails left? Did you bite them all off because you're all nervous wrecks instead of setting your alerts and forgetting it? Down 155 with an hour left. And then boom, by 3:30, we got smoked. There is the worst case scenario. We're looking good. I'm even making jokes about people biting their nails off, and bam. The SPX goes from 4,500 to 4,511, snaps right through our stop loss, and we're going to fucking close that out for a $348 loss, which is manageable. So that goes back to my collateral versus actual loss. $348 is 340%. It's not the full 1,000% you could lose. Let the rest expire for the 100% bag, which means on a red day, I was down $183. This brought me down 23 wins in 25 trades and up 434 on the week. I was up 600 or so earlier, so I got caught. But I still enter my 1 DTE, and we go from there. Here's the UPS the next day as well. We had gapped up and filled the gap for my options buying alert. Easy, massive gap fill. Closed UPS at PT1. 3 for 3 for buying options on the year. That just shows you how dedicated I am to options selling. But going 3 for 3 is pretty fucking awesome for options buying, because when I do buy options, I see the golden opportunity, and my criteria is very unique for it. And I usually put $10,000 to $20,000 down. So for me to take 50-60% on a $20,000 trade 3 times a year, I'm cool with that. Like, that's gold. So who had them diamond hands, baby, and made some cash? Battlefield is set. Entering a call side here. Of course, here's my post with confirmations. All 4 confirmations hit and more. We just got in a little bit earlier on the rejection of orb. And look at that. Beautiful breakdown here. I'm entering a put side spread with a 67% chance of success with a 44.88 stop loss zone. This is much higher risk when you use the statistical and math-based entries into these credit spreads. This is a statistic based on the market moving 1.5% intraday after a gap down, being less than 2% of all overall historical market moves. So when you look at a graph like that, it's also it's a good graph for you to say, hey, if all moves are here, but this one's here, you could play right there and make some extra income. It's also the expected move is exactly 26 more points out of the money than what the one standard deviation at the time was implying. So 68% plus 26 more points. When you hear that, it's like that math is starting to make a little bit more sense to you, right? So I entered the put side on that volatile, massive breakdown there. So when you get those 20 to 30 point candles, like I stated earlier, that's where the mathematical entries can start taking play. But you don't want to just enter them, oh, I'm going to enter now because of this big red candle. You have to have the data. Are you going for the 1.5%, the 2% move? What is it? What's the already intraday move and what's the expected move for the rest of the day? And now I could put my math formula together to make the best entry possible for my team. Be on standby for any updates throughout the day. QQQ breaks over 372, and that's a scalper's dream come true. I was mobile at the time. When you see the switch of the screen, that's my trading view on my phone, so I was mobile at the time. SPX, $1,000 on the day. Scale up on yellow zone days, up huge. We trimmed some profits because you could see the PL on the day was 1,000, but I only had 370 open, so we were scaling profits. We had a breakout. I had called out a breakout. I'm not a scalper, but I did call it out for the team, and a few people did make some good coin on that. I also had a coaching session that day. That's why I was showing the scalping. I had a coaching session midday where I was showing my old scalping techniques, and we hit a $400 SPX trade, which was awesome. He paid me $199 for the session. He made $400 during our live trade. Like, fucking sign me up, right? His results will definitely vary and against future results. So please don't think if you sign a coaching session with me, you're going to make double your money. That was a lot of fun though. Going to open another put side move. Very dangerous. Closing Condor. The Condor, the 1 DTE, not the 0 DTE strategy, looks like it was a loss at 9:15. Closed at 3. Spread 15. We hit another day trade. That was a 550 plus. That covered 2 of the Iron Condor losses because I believe I had 5 of them that day. Max on crazy mode. Here's the 1 DTE. So I believe we had taken 2 losses on that one day, possibly, making me 26 for 29. Or excuse me, 1 loss, the Condor, plus 934 for the week. Everyone have an epic weekend and take your fucking paycheck. So I want to just scroll back and show you guys here. That was September 15th. If we take a look here on September 15th, you're going to see that I took a loss on the Condor, but my profit loss was green on the next day. But the previous day, look at that, 1275 was my loss. That was the day where I lost 300 or some change each, and I lost 1275, closed on a breakthrough stop loss. It would have been 100% loss. So if I did not cut that for a $1,200 loss, it would have become a $2,500 loss. And that's the risk management piece. That's 500% total on that. But the 0 DTE strategy covered almost all, if not all, of those losses. And it brought us to our first, on the 15th, our first red zone day. The 15th, the red zone day, is when we scale up heavily, because statistically, the way my mathematics are set up, my 1 DTE has not lost more than 4 days in a row. So if we go lose our first one, we go from green to yellow. If we lose the second one, we go from yellow to red. And if we lose the third one, we're going into what I call the black zone. That means I'm going to go 50 contracts deep, because statistically, I've never taken the loss. So if someone told you you're going to flip this coin and 100% of the times it's going to come up heads, you're going to probably bet a lot of money on heads, right? So that was the one the 915 day, and we had a very big day on that one. So it felt good. The zero DTE strategy at that time, looking at the logs here, was 29 wins and 0 losses. Remember what I said earlier in the video. The Condor strategy was red. I was down to 17. I paid my $200 for the roadmap. The roadmap of mathematics. It's laying down the mathematical table right in front of you, and the zero DTE is you picking and choosing where you want to make money. The zero DTE was up 4,760 at that time. So overall, I was up $4,500 and mid-month of September. Amazing. I post the log. I post all this shit. Condor next day. Here we go. 50% gains and up 350. The Condors, this was after a red zone day. Remember, I told you statistically, the math that I've created can't lose more than 4 days in a row. So I went 10 contracts deep, and pretty freaking nice day right there. I'm looking to open an Iron Condor to do my 0 day strategy because of the orb. Technically, this is all 4 confirmations for a put side, so we're going to hold off on the call side. So we did eventually, on the 7th candle, break orb and open him up, but you could see that was a very crazy, indecisive, choppy day. We decided to open the put side only. Once it fell back in, then we entered the call side, and it just hung out in the middle, I believe, for the rest of the day, and it broke out. Next 15-minute call, submit, look to open or rejection. Call side closed at negative 400%. I must have had a stop loss, something like this with a tight stop loss. May look to enter in a call side. One bad candle. Oh no, so we took a big loss this day. This was the 18th. This was the loss day. One bad candle was all it took to wash away my huge gain train. One perfectly closed candle and a major reversal. That's the major downfall to my strategy, is major reversals. I will continue to improve and sniff out those those reversals. Put side was the only winner for the day. So now let's go to 918 logged. I had opened the damn call side on the break back into orb. $900 a total premium. First loss of the previous 30 trades. I entered on the break back in the orb, and I played the strategy perfectly. A strong reversal to the upside caused a stop out in a very quick manner. Wound up being 100% play, but I couldn't manage that due to the size of my trade, nor because of the people that follow me. So even though this would have been 100% gainer if I just held with no risk management, I decided to take the $1,200 loss instead, because the total loss on that is 20,000. So if I fucking decide, you know what I mean? If I decided to just let things go and not have risk management, I could have lost 20 grand that day. 20 grand. No, thank you. 1,200, much more manageable, knowing that I'm already up 5,000-6,000 for the day. So logged it. And to this day, that's the only loss I've had since that day, since the 18th. So, I'm upset at myself. I'm looking by right now that, I overtraded. I posted my I felt a little emotional even after the loss. I doubled the position when I shouldn't have. I did a lot of things wrong that day. And there was no chart. There was no nothing. With that being said, you know the vibes, let it all expire. So I went heavy as shit on the put side. My condors wind up hitting. And even though I took that massive loss on the 18th, I actually made $1,600 that day. So that was my biggest loss to date. The only loss on the zero DTE. And I still made $1,600 that day. But I wasn't happy because I overtraded. I pushed my chips forward. You know, look at the collateral there. The $25,000 in collateral. You know, that could have been a lot less, and it could have been a much smoother day with a smaller loss. But I decided to push my chips in because I am a human being. And even as a professional trader, I fucked up on this day. I loved it happened. I learned from it. I'm still growing with my mixed option selling income strategy here that I've been showing you. But I followed my trading plan. I didn't let my emotions get through to me all day long. And I think that's the most important lesson learned here for me on that day, which to date was my last loss. So 87% success rate, 1,600 on the week. Entering my one-day Iron Condor. First loss since August 25th. Logged and noted, ready to hit another motherfucking 30 in a row. I'm a hype man. Up 5,600 since August 25th, and that's the 19th of September. So you know what? Taking a $1,200 trim off the old beard, I'm okay with that. I actually think that's fucking awesome. I think that's great job on my part. You know what? I should delete that goddamn part where I said I felt bad about how I traded, and I should fucking go in there and write, God, I'm the man. I'm the fucking man because I got that tight risk management. Oh. Next day, the battlefield is set. Here's our entry. Here's my reason why. Here's our call side wet dream. Get the mop bucket because if you sold calls on a day like this, so keep it going. Entering this put side here, this is a statistic base on a 1.1% entry move. So here we go. Here is my 44.15. There's my put side entry move. A little fib retracement chart for them, which I believe I did wrong at the time, but we're not going to talk about it. Be on standby for any updates. Currently up 80% gains. And I teach something that cannot be copied because it's true income producing and you know the vibes. Let it expire for the 100% bag. Also, if you want to pause the video at any time, you can pause this video, join the Discord, and confirm all of this is real. You can see I have not edited any of these comments, and you can see that I match all of this with my logs. So there's no faking the bacon here. Also, if you want to literally read the full post that I do, you could pause the video, read my full posts, and then continue the video and go on and so forth. So if you feel like you're missing any of the information because I'm speeding up a little bit, you can pause and go as you wish. 32 for 36 and up 1,900 on the week. There's the one-day Iron Condor. Broke 6,000 in 3 weeks. Amazing. 2,000 a week. $100,000 a year. $100,000 a year. And all you had to do was barely nothing. Enter, set it, set the alert, and forget it. The Max way is simple. Good morning. Remember, FOMC is today, and I haven't decided that I haven't going to trade, and let's take the day off. The premiums were inflated, but the uncertainty is more inflated. What a fucking gem of a line that I just dropped. Let me read that again. Let's take the day off. The premiums are inflated. That's an option seller reference because we sell high inflated, high IV, high inflated premium. The premiums are inflated, but the uncertainty is more inflated. And that is, I'm just going to play my Iron Condor from the day before. Wasn't even watching. At the end of the day, we wind up taking a partial loss on the Iron Condor, which would have been a total loss on the 0 DTE. So me simply sitting on my hands that day saved me probably $1,200 to $1,500 in losses and my little record. So I love that about that. I love that. FOMC days and any days that qualify as a high importance news day where someone like Jerome Powell speaking can really move the market. Those are days I like to sit on my hands, sit back, relax, watch, and do nothing. Today I had a meeting at 10 o'clock. 1 o'clock and 3:30, so I cannot trade today. It's as simple as that. And I'm not one of those people that's going to force it on my phone or try and do this. I have been mobile a few times, as you see, but I must have been doing something very relaxing or just out of my house, on vacation possibly, but I will never trade when there's a high importance day. And this is exactly why I did not trade my 0 DTE today. It would have been a total loss. All 4 confirmations for a Condor and a short put leg would have been out 400-500% on top. Look at that chart. Look what happened when Jerome Powell spoke. If we were in put side credit spreads, you would have been destroyed. It broke through orb, stop loss, final stop loss, and everything. You would have almost taken a total loss if you didn't manage your trade that day. That would have been a fucking $5,000 to $20,000 loss for me. Anyone that is in Labu, remember, real estate and selling covered calls is a long-term strategy. Years, annual strategy. The arrow on the right, which is your all-time PL, always trumps the arrow on the left, which is the unrealized losses. This is because Labu had tanked from $6 to $4, and a lot of my followers that entered their trade entered Labu stock to sell calls, started getting very viciously worried. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Sell your calls for years and years and years, and eventually the number on the right will be green, and that's your PL over time. The mentorship that Boot and Sean did, the last one of the year, it's already started. I'm sorry, and it's been a fucking blowout hit. I'm kind of confused why I'm entering a trade with no chart. Oh, here we go. So we had a big gap down here. This big gap down led to a 1.5% red day, and I entered a call side on the breakdown with it. So I entered a statistical based put side and a 0 DTE based call side at the same time. I was in an iron condor by 10 a.m. You could see my first put side was opened at 9:36. Had I been a little bit more patient, I would have been able to get a much better premium than 35. I'm sure I was very red at the time. Just need to manage our positions. I have a back appointment and doctor's visit and I won't be available, but I did send a chart mobily of my alerts. And that's what I say. Set the alerts and forget it. Go about your day. Watching the put side for another breakdown, and we'll look to close, getting ready to close the put side for break even, closed half of it for gains, close the other half for gains, because when it's too close, but we're up in profit, why am I going to risk losing $1,000 to make an extra 150? It makes no sense on that risk to reward multiple. So I like to trim when things are close. It looks like we trimmed and we made profit. I entered my 1 DTE, and that was a successful win day. With today's logs on the 21st, it looks like we crossed 7K in profits for the month, which is pretty awesome. I told you we only took one red day for the month. I post the charts, the spread, the quantity, and the Excel spreadsheet that I'm working on. I'm going to break down all of this data for everyone Monday through Friday, week over week, month over month, and I'm going to have the spread, the quantity, the premium, the total, the collateral, averages of everything. Everything. There's going to be more data in these fucking spreadsheets. It's going to take you a week to wrap your mind around the data that I'm going to give to you guys for free right in the MOT lobby when you join Max Options Trading. There's the thing. Remember, 1 DTE is not for making millions of dollars. It is the roadmap to success. You're paying that premium to make your 0 DTE as profitable as possible. There's Big Daddy Max with the awesome fucking GIF. Premiums must be in the dumps. Condor was up 60%. We entered a put side here with all 4 confirmations. We broke back into orb later on in the day at about 1:15. We break later on in the day, and there's no time that's against my strategy. So what do? I smack an iron condor. And then what do? We have a massive close to the week with a fucking $2,200 Friday gain. Insane. In the Friday spirit, we close everything early. In the Friday spirit, we freaking had a red zone day and we had a massive win, let it all expire for the 100% gains. And with that 27.19, we made $5,306 on the week. Everyone had an awesome fucking epic weekend. I logged my trades. I showed everything right here, and I continued to drive on to the last week of September. First day of the week, the battlefield is set. This was my wife's birthday, by the way. So on the 25th, you all texted my wife on fucking socials and said, "Happy birthday, you pricks." What do we got here? We entered a put side. Why did we enter a put side? Oh, because we have all 4 confirmations. No big deal. Oh, we had a reversal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles were inside of orb. So we close it down. Something about watching the daily chart while it makes it in spreads also makes it so relaxing and less stressful. I can see where my stop loss zones are. I can see how small the candle is going back and forth. And it's just very smooth and easy for me. And by far my favorite part of the day after watching that daily candle. You know the vibes. Let it all expire for the 100% bag. 625 on the day, 41 for 44 on the month. My high success rate, my high awesome risks, my high big money rate, my gym crushing rate, everything I do is very big and high. And the reason for that is because of my Max Options Trading merch. Go buy a Max Options Trading t-shirt or tank top, get in the fucking gym. It raises your bench press by 10 pounds. Go get yourself a Max Options Trading hoodie. Fucking turn the AC down, the ice cold refrigerator. Your girl's going to freak out when she gets home, but it's going to increase your profitability by 10%. So get over to Max Options Trading, get some merch. Iron Condor, the battlefield is set. We see a small gap down. I'm looking, and now we got a call side. We were very patient. We didn't enter until 34 minutes in, and boom. All 4 confirmations here, plus a little extra. We're in the call sides. No big deal. I also then, after a continuation down, we see a large red here. We pull out the fibs. Thanks again. Shout out Brett Sim. Not gonna lie, I don't know if I still did it right, but it looks fucking good. Golden pocket, baby. Could be a retracement level. And I post that 42.67 to 42.80. And I adjusted my Iron Condor by opening a new one on the rapid decline. So we're in an Iron Condor. a call side, a put side, another iron condor. All right. We're in some fucking trades right now. In between the yellow lines is all we need the price action to stay for a total win. Outside the yellow lines is a partial win. So we're moving and cruising. We set the alerts. We're at the halfway mark and we're sitting at 60% gains. Pretty nice day. It looks like our condor from yesterday will be the only loser. Looking like 1,300 on the week, which is massive. 44 for 48. We took another loss, which is okay. Because this is a red day, which brings us from the green zone to the yellow zone. So let's go to our charts. Let's get back to this. Let's see the 26th. Yep. So on the 26th close, we lost $415 of total loss on one spread. And on this yellow zone, I decided we're going to stay with one contract. A yellow zone usually would mean that we're a little bit more scalable, but that doesn't mean you have to scale the condor, our roadmap. You can scale the more profitable, consistent strategy and maybe go from 5-0 DTEs to 10 and really push the envelope on those higher probability chance days. Enter a condor, the battlefield is set. We're entering a call side with massive confirmations, up 60% gains on everything. Another statistical put side entry here that the market doesn't close below 1% red intraday, which would be a total intraday move of negative 1.28%. And we're doing this at 12 o'clock. So it's basically like, is the market going to absolutely crumble in the last 3 hours? And I just don't see that happening, as we're already in the golden pocket level of retracement of support, area, plus the historical data that we use. Setting an order to close, put side, we closed a little, we closed some more, 4 cons filled, just past the halfway point, we're up $1,600, taking a high risk, and I entered back in the 8 contracts that I closed, which is extremely high risk because it dropped down, and I cut them at 40 all the way back down, and then later on in the day, baby, you can see we're up 90% on everything open, a massive $2,000 day. The power of orb put on perfect display here on this day. The power of support and resistance. This is the most beautiful day that I've ever had trading, and this is unbelievable. We played the call side. We played the statistical side. I entered on that doji when it bounced back up support, and candle by candle, I was able to sit there and successfully watch my account get gain after gain on all of those trades as it broke back into orb at 3 o'clock and rejects. That is a perfect picture for what my strategy thrives in. Now, a strong reversal like that, if it were to happen at 10 o'clock and go through my yellow line at the top, then we have a big problem. You guys know what it is. Let me hear you say it. You know the vibes. Let them expire with 100% bag. I have cracked the code. And I really mean that. I have cracked the code. 48 for 52 now on the month, 4 for 4 today, up $4,000 on the week. Oh, I play League of Legends. Check this out. 20 straight dubs. I play Hyper, the nastiest multicaster bruiser build you ever see. So what you're going to do is keep your front line thick. Look at my Cho over there. But it's the multicasters that really cripple. So when she casts her spell right here, bang, 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 the whole fucking backline is done for. This was probably the best team I built in a long time. Going 20-0 on Hyper is pretty damn badass, but not as badass as watching my team fucking smash theirs like this. It wasn't even close. And this is supposed to be the other final guy. It wasn't even fucking remotely close. So easy dub. It seems like all I do is get dubs. So we entered an Iron Condor. Let's take a look at the chart. We're green again, but we're barely green. Once again, I make my promise to you, I will figure out how to get this Iron Condor strategy profitable over time. I know a way, I just haven't figured out the mathematic calculator behind it when dealing with the contract amounts. I do know the yellow, green, and red zone. Those are something that have to do with it, but I will get there. 1 DTE guide cannot be done without the 0 DTE mixture. So here's another important thing that I've noticed. The 1 DTE strategy cannot be done yet alone. It's not a solo strategy. It's the roadmap for the 0 DTE. However, the 0 DTE is sustainable on itself. You could be very profitable if you learn my 0 DTE strategy, which I do teach on YouTube for a portion of it. The statistical mathematical side, you kind of have to buy my guide on my website and kind of use the mixtures there. We go into 928. The battlefield is set. We see a retracement. I'm entering the put sides because it looks like we broke orb. All four confirmations for a put side anyway, as it broke to the upside. Then we enter calls on this massive pump. So when we see a $40 pump by 12 o'clock, now we're in that golden pocket that the Daddy Brett Coach Simba taught me. I was able to use that and start entering call sides where it's going to get this massive premium and this massive mathematical success formula. And once again, you know the vibes, MOT, let it all expire for the 100% bag, a huge $790 day. And these days happen very consistently. And we use these mathematical and statistical formulas day over day to make the most patient and best choice possible. And this is that shit. Have you noticed the consistency, the methodical, fucking systematic way I do this? Now, this is trading, baby. This is real fucking day trading as an options seller. And no one can do it like I can because I'm 51 for 55 this month and I have $4,866 on the week. It's crazy. We're going to crush the last 3 months. We're going to crush it. Discord was reporting major outages, but we were able to still trade. Here's the last battlefield is set. We entered a call side on this break, back reversed off orb. That was a confirmation for me. We quickly reversed right back into orb, but I wanted to be patient. We broke back into orb, but for some reason I wanted to see how this candle closed because it wouldn't break past that previous 2 candles. It couldn't really confirm. So I just waited patiently. And of course, it broke back down to the downside with a clear downtrend intact. I didn't want to jeopardize my condor by entering them in there. I would rather wait and get one of those statistical based entries. So I did that, up 80% gains. There was probably nothing else to do. Later on in the day, here we go. So we get a 43.10 to 42.95, a 15-point candle. Now it's mathematical time. Let's do some math. Let's do some fib retracements. Let's find out where there's some serious support zones, and let's bang a put side credit spread right after that. We repositioned and held the put side. We can't even see the call side lines. And we were able to close our put sides for 10% or for 10 pennies, trimming a massive amount of profits, closed at 10. And here it comes. You know what time it is. We made it. We crushed it. We did 733 on the day, making a $5,599 week. That was 11,363 on the month of September. I finished the month 55 for 59 with a 93.22% success rate. Nobody can do this because they haven't cracked the code like I have and entered this mathematical formulas that I have. Drop the mic and stand by for the bird. 100% bag, baby. Another thing that I do is that's important to me that you saw all throughout this month is this right here. This time I got a $3,000 paycheck. So my paychecks got bigger and better as the volatility in the market did. In September, we had a bloody month. It dropped. It was volatile. It was nasty. And if you lost a lot of money buying options, I slowly and easily, systematically and methodically crushed it live with everybody. Posted all entries, posted all charts, posted all closings, posted all Ys, logged it all down, encouraged everyone to take paychecks. You know the vibes. Max options, baby. This is what I did. And on the last day here, I entered my Iron Condor. We closed out the quarter with a massive $11,000 month, 10 DTE loss. Let's come over to the log from September. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses on the Condor strategy. Unfortunately, we're still red on it, but I promise you I'm going to figure it the fuck out. My notes, once I get the data and analysis tables up to date and I can look at the data and systematically figure out the matrix and the mathematic formula to scale the quantity of contracts based on the green, yellow, red, and black zone. I don't know if I've said this yet in the video, but the green zone means that we've had a win. It did not break one of the call or put sell sides the previous day. Yellow means we have a loss on the Condor. Red day means we have a red zone means we have a double loss. And statistically, remember, I've said we've never taken more than 4. And yet we've over the back test of this, I've never seen a black zone. Black zone is like, oh, fuck. Let's go. Let's put the money forward because the math is in our face and we have to push. For the 0 DTE, I've logged everything the entire way. Do not trade FOMC. Would have taken a huge loss. Every single entry chart, every single Y is important as well. So in my notes, you'll see this was an entry back on Breaking the Orb. This is a statistic-based entry. This is readjusted in Iron Condor. It's important to log this so when I track my data, I can see, oh, you know, this month, 20 statistics, 20 normal 0DTE strategies, 5 readjustments, and we could see all of the data needed to succeed. So this is the big deal. This is why I do what I do. This is why I try and tell everyone to come to the option selling side. This is it. This is what you get when you get MOT, when you join MOT. This is exactly what you should be looking for. When you join MOT, this is exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get all of that every day, me giving it my all with my team. And like I said, we can come buy options. And we have algo flows, news breaks, important updates. We have everything you need to succeed in the stock market. But if you really want to change it up and be consistent and start making income and posting your gains in that winning trade column in your Discord every single day, you could do it in mine. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was just 1 month in September for me. If I wanted to go back all the way to when I started doing this in April, I could show you this same shit almost all the way through April in the Discord. No edits, no nothing. This is just a special month for me because it was a big month where I added the mathematical in my old credit spread guide math statistic entries. We do this every month, and come along if you want to max options. You can come give us a try in the journey in our Discord with a 7-day free trial. The new strategy that's coming out in the future to show you guys the data, the math, the stats, and all of that. What I'm really coming out with is going to be game changer for a lot of people. And it's my goal to make as many traders go from the buy side to the sell side and become profitable, consistent traders with BDM as much as possible. So there it is. There it fucking is. Drop the mic, baby. You know, I film it. I can film it. I can fucking film like a motherfucking film. I can film like a motherfucking film. Oh, Big Daddy is dressed up to the T though, boy. What's up?